This is the first time that I've done a YouTube live, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing. Haven't had time to sort out the windswept hair either. So hello to anybody who is joining us. I have had a podcast for a wee while now, a couple of years, but as you'll see if you look at previous videos, I don't do them very regularly. And the main reason for that is editing videos isn't my favourite thing to do. I love to chat about yarn. I love to chat about all things yarn and knitting and crochet and lots of crafts, but get me to sit down at a laptop and edit video isn't my thing. So I thought we would come on and do a live instead, which means I don't have to do any editing at the end. This might be the worst decision I've ever made. Let's just see how it goes. So, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Claire and I run Cookston Crafts from my workshop that I'm in at the moment, and we are based in Ellon, Aberdeenshire. I can see a few people joining now, so I hope it's all worked okay and that you can hear me all right as well. I've recently upgraded my phone and now my microphone doesn't fit that phone, so that's another thing. So apologies if the audio isn't the greatest. Feel free to ask any questions and interrupt, and we'll just work it out together, will we? Yeah, so what I'm going to show you first of all is the sweater that I'm wearing. This I knitted last year, like October kind of time. It's the Cake Pop sweater by Josie Locatelli. Andrea's saying all good on my phone. Superb. I can do this, can't I? Yeah, so this pattern is the Cake Pop sweater by Josie Locatelli, and I instantly, you know, like sometimes you're scrolling on Ravelry and Instagram and looking for inspiration, and sometimes a pattern just jumps out at you and you're like, that's it, I must knit that. So that's what happened with this one. The image on the front of the actual pattern is quite a variegated pink yarn, but I had a couple of skeins of this gorgeous orange colour that I called Japonica. You can probably see it actually up there behind me. And I had a couple of skeins that just didn't make the cut. I'd managed to splash some other dye on them, and they just go into my personal stash. And, you know, once I held it with a strand of Suri alpaca, it was a slightly thicker Suri alpaca. It was a fingering weight one. Yeah, you'd never know. I'm quite particular about my yarn and making sure that it's exactly what it looks like in the image. And if a skein gets the odd splash of dye, which happens, it's just the nature of the business, I don't put it out. I would rather put dye over the top of it and call it a one-of-a-kind skein. So I'm quite particular and fussy. So this one was the Japonica colourway in both the fingering weight, was a cashmere one as well, lucky me, and the Suri alpaca fluff as well. I'll go and hold up a couple of skeins of it actually. So this one is, I'll hold this one. So this is the slightly thicker, I mean they're huge, they're 100 gram skeins, and I think I would need to double check the sizing actually, but I normally knit about a 38 inch, and I managed to get away with 2 skeins of fingering weight and 2 skeins of the Suri as well. This colourway would probably match much better the image that Josie has on the front of the pattern. It's the watercolour colourway that I made for the Glasgow School of Yarn, but I actually have a sweater in very similar colours. I once knitted the Lento sweater. Again, lovely project, holding 2 strands together with a bit of fluff. It's a top-down plain raglan, and if you were new to garment knitting, I would definitely give the Lento a look. So I decided against this colourway and went with the yarn that I already had in the stash, the kind of reject yarn, and I think it's come out really well. The only thing I did, the only strange thing that I found was there were no extra stitches in the pattern for under the arms. And I knitted the body and it was just that little bit too tight. It was just a wee bit too clingy on the tummy, which I didn't like. So I ripped out the body again, added some extra stitches under here, and I kind of did a bit of maths and added the correct amount of stitches to get the pattern to work. There was some, if you didn't do that, there was a slightly adapted part of the pattern down the sides of the sweater. So after that, it was plain sailing, and it was just the same pattern repeat round and round, and it worked up really quickly. Hi Leanne, hi there. Thank you for joining me. So yeah, I would recommend the pattern. As always, really well written, and I really enjoyed that. So that was about October time. After that, I went straight into knitting a test sweater. So it was a test knit for Micah. She is Brielar on Instagram. So at BREIELAAR, and she's a fantastic designer who designed the Wervel sweater, which is in my profile picture. I absolutely love that sweater, so fun and exciting. And I'm just looking, my daughter has a friend that's just arrived, but they can sort that out. Yeah, so Micah kindly asked if I would like to test knit a sweater, which I did, and it's out on the 26th of January. This is it. It's called the Sparks sweater, and isn't it great? Like the pops of colour. I just absolutely love this kind of coral orange. It's something that I've knitted loads of garments in. It's obviously something that I'm just drawn to. And it's again top down. It's a double knit weight, so it's really quite thick and chunky. It's a really cozy one to wear, and it's quite an oversized fit. I don't particularly like them too oversized because I'm quite short, and I find that they just absolutely drown me. So I did the size 2, and I did the cropped version, and I've worn it loads already because we have been having freezing cold weather. The main thing that I would say, the challenge with this one, I've knitted a lot of colour work sweaters recently, colour work projects. This one uses 3 colours in one row, so it was quite nice to give that a try. It's something that I've done very rarely. You've got options as well, so you don't have to do that 3 colours in one row if you find it too challenging. You could do a duplicate stitch, which I think is mentioned in the pattern actually. Or I've seen it done with just all of these shapes in one colour, which is really effective too. So this one is out on the 26th of January. And I would, really highly recommend that one. Double knit, so you are going to use a little bit more yarn if you're used to knitting 4-ply fingering weight garments. I think I used 4 skeins of the silver, but you would probably get away with 1 skein if you were doing all one colour, every one of the motifs. And then I added, it was supposed to be just a plain sleeve, this at the end, but I added these little sparks as well because I couldn't resist using up more of my corally orange colour. So yeah, that one is out at the end of January, and I actually took in a new yarn to me for this, which was 100% Falkland yarn, so there's no nylon in it at all. And I've taken in a few more packs, so the plan was always to have all that dyed and ready to go for the end of January, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen. So I've had loads of inquiries, loads of people asking. I am absolutely fine. I announced rather hastily last week that we were moving and that I'd got new premises in Ellen, which is the town that I'm just nearby. It all fell through. It just wasn't the right place for me right now. It's a great space, it's a great location, and it'll be perfect for someone, but it just wasn't feeling quite right. So I was absolutely gutted, but I pulled out of it, and I'm relieved that I have. Some things are just not meant to be, are they? If you're new to here and you don't know the story, I live on an old farm, and I now work in this workshop space that was just an old farm workshop. So we stripped it all out and started from scratch and created a really cool studio space. It's a special place. I love having people in here. I love having it nice and cozy and warm, and we do workshops and things in here with lots of natural light. And yeah, it's going to take something to really top this, I think, and I think I need to be quite careful about what I do next. Andrea's saying, oh, I hope you find the right spot. I will. I know I will. The right thing will come up. It just wasn't meant to be. But that's meant that really all my plans for January are kind of up in the air now, because I'd factored in obviously doing up and moving and doing up a building and things, and I don't have that to do anymore. So I have a little bit of free time and a bit of flexibility, which is brilliant. Maybe I will get that double knit Falkland yarn dyed. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to come on and show you was the thing that I'm working on just now. I am working on, it's called the Bubble Cowl. It's a West Knits one. And this is the, oh, someone else arrived. I might have to cut this short, sorry. So this is the Glow Hair Frost shawl that I knitted in the Christmas holidays with my Advent. And I've now got lots of leftovers, which I'll show you very quickly. I might come on and do this again, actually. If it's as simple as this, thank you for joining, but I've got some special visitors that have just arrived. If you're not used to this, this is just how I roll. This is just my life. You never know what's happening next. But this is the start of the bubble cowl that I'm doing with the leftover minis. Oh, that one's not one. From the Succulents Advent range. So I think what I might do, I'll finish up just now. At least I know now that this works, and I can chat through some more project ideas. And I also want to show you the project bags as well, the mud project bags. Andrea's asking, that's beautiful, could I do that with a DK Advent? I'm not sure you would have enough yarn with a DK Advent. I would need to double check the yardages. You could, you know, technically it would be possible. You might just need to stop it early. But you might want to look into, I'm sure someone somewhere will have done that. So what to do is go on to the Ravelry project notes and just filter it for double knit. And I'm sure someone somewhere in the world will have done that. It's the joy of a West Knits pattern, isn't it? Anyway, that was very short and sweet. But let's do this again. Let's do this again this weekend. And I think YouTube is probably the right place to do it, because I never know whether to do Instagram or Facebook, and the orientation is all different on each one. Let's just make it one place. Anyway, I hope you're all safe and warm. The weather isn't too bad here at all, actually. I think we have really avoided a lot of it. I mean, it's windy, but no more than normal. Thank you for joining, and I will let you all know. I think I'll do this again this weekend. Take care, everyone.